Beautiful people, welcome back to Around the World with Steven. Welcome if you're new, and if you're returning, I appreciate you. Worldies and travelers, how you all doing? Today I have it going for you. I love you all so much. I appreciate you all for your wonderful support, your love, and everything. Before I go ahead, I would like to ask for support, well wishes for both of my mods. I have two mods at the moment. Irony and Chio. Irony goes by a lot of names and a lot of aliases. Chio is Chio Eyes. You guys may have seen that in my comment section a lot. Chio is in the hospital. Please send us some well wishes. Irony too is battling with typhoon, and I think they had an earthquake not long ago. It's a very tough time for both of my mods, so please send them well wishes. You can do that on Discord. You can do that under the comment section. You can even do that through my email. My email is on the channel, and I'll send it to them. Anyway, you can send them well wishes. Please do. I'll definitely pass on the information to them, and it will absolutely do them well. Also, Irony, who's in the Philippines right now, they're battling a lot, has few ways you could donate to people in need, people who've lost their property through the earthquake that happened. A lot has been lost. The videos are very heartbreaking. So if you have anything you can help with, if you want to know more about it, there'll be a video coming soon about it to shed light on it, and even words, prayers, anything you want to help out with to any of my mods, they'll really be grateful. All right, so we have a Rotten Mango video today that says Asian obsessed man pushed two girls off cliff near Disney Castle, and Disney's in quotation marks. So, man, this is ridiculous. Asian obsessed man, number one. I'm like, Asian obsessed? Is that in a good way or in a bad way? And is obsession even good or bad? I mean, I don't know. It's for you to judge. And he pushes two girls down a cliff? Man, let's get into this. Let's see what this person did and who this person is in the first place. I'm curious. Please like, share, subscribe. I love you all so much. Now let's get it.
Bada bing, bada boo.
Some people say the Cinderella castle at Disneyland is haunted. I'm not saying that just because Disney has a very intense legal team, but some people have said it, and they think it goes against everything that Disney stands for. Apparently back then, you could tour this supposedly haunted dungeon underneath Cinderella's castle in Tokyo, of all places, and Disney eventually shut that whole amusement ride down because of just how creeped out the guests were getting.
No way.
Their objective was, let's bring them in, show them these dungeons, and it'll be scary, it'll be spooky, and then we're gonna have a happy ending. But people were genuinely terrified. There was
Absolutely. I would be generally terrified too. And especially in a dark room like that, you're walking, you know it's spooky, but not that spooky. That is going to give me a whole bunch of, like, I don't know, concerns. That is crazy. Whoa.
something about the energy in that castle. Some people say the one in Disneyland in California is also haunted. There's just something about Cinderella's castle that either people romanticize it or they think nothing is that perfect. Something about that place is sinister. It goes against everything Disney wanted, which is to make this castle feel like romance. Feel like you need to propose right now to your loved one in front of it. It feels like a happy ending, a fairy tale, which is very interesting considering the fact that the real-life castle that Disney was inspired by, the Neuschwanstein Castle in Germany, it's got some dark past attached to it.
Bro, look at that. Now, this is what you call a castle. This is what you call a castle. And even the demographic, where it's at right now, is phenomenal. Mountainous region, and it's on a mountain near a cliff. Oh man, this is a dream. This is a dream. I could see how Disney would be inspired by this. Whoa.
Once upon a time, there was a mad king. His name is King Ludwig II of Bavaria. And if I were to be nice about it, they would call him the fairy tale king. Because he lived in his own little Delulu land. He lived in his own little fairy tale land.
Oh, boy.
So 2 years into him becoming king, he loses this big war to Prussia. And instead of being like, hold on, let me face reality. Bavaria is going down the toilet. I lost to Prussia. Let me be strong to my subjects. He decides, no, I'm going to live in my own fairy tale. I'm still going to rule over the biggest court of all the lands. So he loses himself in building this insane castle on this rocky cliff edge. It's like, I mean, if this were a villain horror story, it would be the villain's lair.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I want it to feel like Prince Charming's home. Rocky cliff. We've got the towers that go up, all the stone, impenetrable defenses in case someone wants to storm it. It's gonna have 200 rooms, a ballroom, a theater with a big stage for all of his court to be entertained because he is the greatest king of all. This would be
Man, I know our castle's so big, but 200 rooms big? Whoa. 200 rooms. I mean, what? Dang. And it's aesthetically pleasing. I'm not going to lie. It's a place I'd like to visit just to see how it is. It's beautiful. And just as I said, like it being in a mountainous region also gives it a whole like villainous effect. You know what I mean? Like something you see in a book, you see in a Cinderella book. You see the mountains and you see that. I mean, it's nice. I'm not going to lie.
the Mad King's private escape from reality. And in this castle, he would be the ultimate king. He would actually dress up in medieval royalty clothing. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. As Bavaria, his true reality, struggled with the loss of Prussia, King Ludwig continued to play make-believe. So he loses himself completely in this castle. He was driven mad. He starts borrowing insane amounts of money from foreign courts, going into debt, losing sleep over which room had to be painted what. He wanted each tower to look imposing, look straight out of an episode of Game of Thrones. And the fellow men of his court realize, this man is losing his mind. We are struggling, and the king is playing dress up on his cliffside castle. They decide he can rule no more. He was deemed unfit to rule by his own personal psychiatrist, diagnosed with madness, dethroned, and he was evicted from his precious castle.
No way.
3 days later, he was found mysteriously dead. It's suspected he was either murdered or he was a murderer. The King of Bavaria was found dead in the lake next to a psychiatrist who had defensive wounds all over his body. It was clear that the psychiatrist was killed, but what about the king? Did he kill his psychiatrist before ending his own life? Was it an accident, or were they both killed? Was King Ludwig really even mad? I guess we're never going to really know the answers to these questions.
Oh my goodness. Bro, that's how he's starting? Dang. And if there are defensive wounds on the hands of his psychiatrist, and he's laying next to her with a murder weapon over there, I would say murder-suicide. But I said it. I would say, yeah, I said it. I would say that is what happened. I would really say that's what happened, because the evidence presented to us right now is the psychiatrist laying there and Ludwig laying beside the psychiatrist with defensive wound on the psychiatrist, but not on Ludwig. Well, she didn't say that, but if there were defensive wound on Ludwig, it would have been said. So it's like on a live psychiatrist, laying next to psychiatrist, and on a live self. I mean, that is what I'm thinking happened.
But just weeks after King Ludwig's death, the castle was open for tourists.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, since
That quick.
that quick.
Weeks.
And since then, it has become one of the biggest tourist attractions in the whole world. More than 61 million people have visited this castle. More than 1.3 million people visit this castle annually.
No way.
During the summer months, you can expect to see about 6,000 visitors per day because they just want to look at the true real-life Cinderella castle, the fairy tale castle.
What?
I mean, it's beautiful. Despite its kind of sordid history, it's really pretty. I mean, you go up this massive cliff. I mean, typically with a tour guide, the best view of the castle is from this bridge that's like 200 feet in the air, suspended over the cliff. There's like waterfalls. There's a ravine. It's really breathtaking. I mean, just looking at the pictures. And then you see this castle with grayish exterior, these circular towers and intricate balconies detailing the windows. Everything feels like CGI magic. You just can't picture that there were humans that came and built this castle on the cliffside.
The cliff is crazy. You have to stand 200 feet above land to watch this. 200 feet is a problem for me. Now, I don't know for you watching me, but 200 feet is a problem. Let's talk about it, man. Heights. I used to be scared of heights. I work with heights right now. But even with that, bro, I clutch everything I could clutch. I make sure I'm okay. I do that with a harness. You are climbing a bridge that is 200 feet above land. So watch that, bro. A lot of things will be going on in my head. What if it shakes? What if we're doing it and then somebody messes up and breaks a part of the bridge? 200 feet to your death would be a roller coaster ride to die, bro. It is crazy. I don't. Yeah, no, I don't work with that. I'd rather sit in a plane. I'll sit in a plane. I'll go over it and then watch it and land me somewhere. Let me go back home, bruh.
Think Cinderella's castle at Disney, but 100 times bigger and on a rocky cliff. And in 2023, the romantic Cinderella castle would be back in the news.
Bro.
Not because of Disney, not because of an alleged haunting, but because an Asian American tourist was allegedly assaulted and murdered at the real-life Cinderella castle.
Oh my goodness.
By a man who was just really into Asian women.
Oh my goodness. You're so much into Asian women that you have to unalive them? Or what? Or what happened? This guy's crazy. Arrest him! What?
As always, full show notes are available at rottenmangopodcast.com. This was a highly requested case that I've been trying to cover for, I want to say, a few months. I hoped that there would be a bit more information as time progressed, but it appears that this is just what we know so far, and we're waiting for a trial to happen in Germany. But as always, I'm interested in hearing your thoughts down in the comments. So with that being said, let's get started. The bridge overlooking the Cinderella castle was already packed. I mean, even though it's Wednesday, June 13th at 11 a.m., there are people shoulder to shoulder on that bridge waiting in line to try and get a picture with the castle. There were as many phones up there as there were faces in the crowd. So amongst them, there's two Asian American women. We've got 21-year-old Eva Liu and 22-year-old Kelsey Chang. So they're patiently waiting to get on this bridge. I mean, this is the main bridge that tourists will go on to see the castle.
Bro, look at the perspective. Look at the aspect ratio right here. So that is the bridge. It looks so tiny when everything is in perspective. This is the castle and that is the bridge. And we saw the bridge close up some moments prior, and we saw the number of people that were on the bridge. That is insane. If you look at it this way.
There are hiking trails around here, around the castle, but this is the best place for views. This is the best place for pictures. This main bridge. People will take turns squeezing past each other just to try and take a picture. Even if there's a million tourists in the background of your photo, it's just that good. And then maybe when they're done taking that picture, they just take a second to stare at this castle. It was everything that everyone online said it would be. It was a million times more beautiful in real life.
Wow.
So Eva and Kelsey, they start walking around this area. They're taking in the fresh, sharp mountain air, taking pictures, hearing all these tourists giggling and talking in all these different languages. I mean, the energy there that day, particularly, was very heartwarming. Everyone just wanted to see a real-life castle. There's nothing tense about the situation. I mean, everyone's having a good time. There's families, there's kids. So Eva and Kelsey, they start walking around looking for the perfect shot of this castle, and they hear this voice. You girls American?
Whoa.
The girls turn around, and this man, I mean, I don't know how to say this nicely, but this man looks like the poster child for an American man. I'm an American.
Ouch.
I was born here, so can I say that? You know how Europeans say that they can sense? Their spidey senses start tingling when there's like an American tourist even a mile away. They can spot one out in the crowd like that. That was this guy.
Oh,
He's
boy.
wearing a baseball cap, jeans, t-shirt. He has a goatee and a big smile on his face. They turn around and they say, yeah, we're American. So cool, me too, I'm from Michigan. So he's like striking up this conversation with them, and I'm sure they're bouncing it back politely. Oh, very cool, we've never been to Michigan. And the three start engaging in this conversation. It does seem like the man was the one that kept it going, but he wasn't creepy about it. He wasn't like, oh, what hotel are you staying at? He wasn't asking all these intrusive questions. He just seemed really excited to meet another American while he was abroad. Which is
Well, yeah. Meeting somebody who is from where you're from when you're abroad, when you don't even imagine you're going to meet anybody, is really, really something good. All right. So I came here from Africa, definitely. And when I met another African, the first time I met another African, I was like, man, you won't believe this. We struck a conversation. We became very close. It was crazy. And I didn't know this guy from anywhere. It wasn't even from my country. So imagine that. And the person being from your country. The reason being that if you leave your country or where you were born or your town or whatever it is, and you go another place or you go abroad, you are not familiar with the people around, right? So seeing somebody that is from where you're from creates this connection. Like, oh man, the connection of familiarity. Oh, that person comes from my place. Where you're from, it doesn't even matter. You feel like family. You feel connected. So I think that is the scenario Stephanie is just trying to paint. Is like he sees the Americans, and then they also see him. They recognize they're Americans. They're in Europe. They're in Germany. So it's like, oh man, I meet my fellow Americans. Well, let's have a chit chat. Let's have a conversation. But man, it looks like this is the guy that did the horrendous thing. How did that turn?
the thing. Like when we were in Switzerland, my dad was so excited to see a couple staying at our hotel because they were Korean. We've never met this couple before. We don't know the first thing about this couple, but he's talking to them as if we were a long lost family friends. So it's very interesting when you're traveling, you build this like sense of companionship with someone that's from the same country as you, just because they're from the same country as you. So the girls, they're engaging in the conversation, and there is, again, nothing alarming about this man. He seems very nice. He's also super knowledgeable about Germany in general. He seems well-traveled. He's telling them all the hottest local spots to grab food. He wasn't even suggesting, oh, why don't we go after? He's like, oh yeah, if you guys have time tomorrow, you should check out this place. It was just a
Well, yeah, I can appreciate the fact that he was being nice, but what is that beard, bro? What is that goatee, man? Like, what are you trying to grow a goatee or half a goatee? Is that like what? Like, what is that goatee, bro? Like, have a stubble or something like that. Like, you have a goatee that has this part, and then there's space here and that part, and it's thin here than this part. And yeah, I mean, we're from America, but if I met you in Europe, I'll keep my distance. Something will tell me you're going to push me off a cliff, because look at this. What is this? What is this? And you have the audacity to smile with that, bro? No. You are no.
why don't we go after? He's like, oh yeah, if you guys have time tomorrow, you should check out this place. It was just a genuine conversation. And then he says, hey, do you guys want to see the castle from another viewpoint? The bridge is usually the tourist spot, but like literally right over there, there's a really clear part of the trail where it just has the best view. It's kind of like a local secret. Last time I was up here, a local showed me. At first, the girls are kind of hesitant, but they look around. It's broad daylight. There are kids shouting. There are families taking pictures. I mean, like I said, there's on busy days, 6,000 people visiting this tourist site in a single day.
No, trust your guts, people, please. Don't go. Trust your gut. If for nothing at all, look at the beard. Let that scare the crap out of you. No.
Everyone has their phone just left, right. Anything that's going to be caught on camera is going to be caught on camera here. It's one of the biggest tourist spots in the country, and this man has been nothing but normal and nice to them.
No way.
Besides, if he's not that nice, they could easily call for help or run. There's a lot of people. So they go. They go with the man, and he starts taking them around the trail. And this trail has a bit of a curve that they hit. And it's got a lot of these overgrown, heavy trees. It was a moment where it's kind of, they're getting out of sight from the tourist.
That is my point, bro. If you're getting out of this, bro, if you go somewhere and your gut is telling you where you're headed, or the person you're talking to, or the person who asked you to follow him is scary, your gut is not with it. Please don't go. Please don't go. Because trust me, you think you're gonna call for help and people are gonna swarm you, but look at where he's taking you. Heavily guarded trees around. You can't even shout, bro. No, you're going farther and farther from the tourists. That is your sign to get back. Run back. Go to the tourist, please. And look at his beard. That is not a beard of a good citizen. I'm telling you.
It's kind of hard to make out what's in front of you, what's behind you because of the curvature of the trail. So technically the area is surrounded by mountains and sharp cliffs, but it's actually really safe. It just kind of feels dangerous because we're scared of heights. No fatal accidents have occurred by the castle or surrounding the castle or even on the trails near the castle. Everything is very clearly marked. It's easy to keep a safe distance from any cliff sides or steep ravines. Very, very easy. So this is around 2:30 to 2:40 p.m. that they start making their way down the trail with this man. And somewhere along this trail, the man's demeanor completely changes.
Oh my
He goes
gosh.
from being the nice guy next door to just a monster. I don't know how else to say it. Kelsey was walking a little bit ahead and she heard a scream, turned around to see the man trying to violently assault, presumably assault Eva.
What?
Trying to save her friend, Kelsey runs over, tries to pull this guy off of her best friend, and for a second it works because he's now backed off from Ava. His hands are in the air, but he doesn't run off. Kelsey's hoping, okay, now he's gonna know that we're gonna scream, we're gonna shout, people are gonna come and help us. He doesn't back off. Instead, he turns all of his attention to Kelsey now.
No.
Puts his hands around her neck, starts choking her and pushing her, basically choking and walking her closer and closer till he gets to the cliff's edge, and then he flings her over the 165-foot drop. 165 feet is like throwing someone off the 17th floor balcony.
Wow.
Bro, just like that? Just because she wanted to save her friend from this creep. Oh, man, trust your senses, please. Trust your guts. I don't care, bro. I mean, there is this familiarity I spoke of before. That is meeting somebody from the same place as you. But, man, if you're creeped out by something, man, like, take the cue. Oh, what? Bro.
The scarier part is this is a rocky cliffside. She could land on a sharp rock or a pile of them. I mean, she could keep falling down further. It's not like the bottom is 165 feet away. This is a very, 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 very tall cliff. It's worse than a 17th story building. So the man turns to Ava, who's trying to fight him off with everything that she has. She's completely scratching up his face, getting his DNA under her nails, but also leaving him with these bright red streaks just across his cheeks, his forehead. But once he was done with her, and it's not confirmed, but it's presumed that he either tried or did essay her. When he was done, he threw her 165 feet off the cliff as well. A complete stranger thought that it was his God-given right to use a woman for pleasure and throw two women off the cliff when he was done with them.
And that is the saddest part of it all. Like, you see two women You have no knowledge of who they are. You don't even care to know them. You're talking about yourself and the travels you've had, only to use them for your satisfaction. The other one didn't even touch her, just threw her off the cliff and then just throw them, dump them, just like that, and then go. I know she said before that Germany had, I mean, we're in the process of taking him to court or something like that. But I just want one outcome. I just want to see him pushed off a cliff. Maybe more, a cliff with more depth in the valley than what the ladies experienced. I just throw him off. Throw him off of it, please.
So when news starts spreading of this case, people are pissed off. People are so pissed off at the audacity of this guy. They start going online and saying, okay, well, if it's an eye for an eye, someone throw this man off a cliff.
Please.
And I
please.
completely understand the concept of an eye for an eye, right? A life for a life. But what if the two lives are not equal to begin with? That is the question that a lot of netizens have been having with this case. Troy Bowling is the man that we're talking about. He was known in his neighborhood for walking his cat on a leash.
I mean, are you surprised? This guy's a weirdo. Look at him. Look at this guy. Look at him. His nose is like an arrow ready to be shot. His teeth is stupid. Look at his beard. This beard, I do not understand how somebody can see this guy and take him serious for anything at all. Like, look at his beard, bro. I know I don't do this on the channel. But yeah, screw it. This guy is a piece of shit. Look at him. He's a piece of shit with a piece of shit face. I understand if somebody doesn't look like a piece of shit and then manages to gain the trust of people and then unalive them, and then we're like, oh, how did that even happen? Look at this guy. You know he's either a PDF file or a killer. Look at him. He has no chicks whatsoever. He has never had any woman whatsoever. And then look at his beard. Look at his nose. Nothing of this guy is appealing in the slightest. And I'm not talking like that. He looks like somebody who walk a frog on a leash, let alone a cat. He is stupid. Oh my goodness. Man, I hate this guy so much. Look at him. Just take a look at this piece of rat's turd, man. Oh.
Is the man that we're talking about. He was known in his neighborhood for walking his cat on a leash. It is unclear if the cat liked it or not. Yeah, we don't know.
You can do that?
I Googled it. It said that most cats don't enjoy it. But you can train them when they're very young to walk on a leash.
Oh, fascinating.
It's fascinating, yeah. But that was pretty much what the 30-year-old man's favorite pastime was going out in Lincoln Park, Michigan, where he lives with his brother, and walking his cat. And we don't really know much else about this guy. Everyone said, he's quiet. He minded his own business. I mean, apparently, not a single neighbor was like, oh, that's cool. You walk your cat. Nobody even talked to him. They were like, he just didn't seem that approachable. But he didn't seem mean. Like, we're not approaching him because he's evil and terrifying and violent. We just thought, what an interesting guy. He always just stayed in the house with his brother. If you did.
And he's 30, bro. He's 30. He said a 30-year-old guy. Bro, that guy, would you ever imagine that guy's 30 or that guy's like close to 50? Those arrow-pointed nose with the sharp edges look 45 as it is. Like, his beard is so like stupid. I've never seen a beard that stupid. And I don't even understand how a beard could be like that. But he should be arrested for having that beard alone and keeping it. And then charged for both unalivements. He's disgusting. After this, I'm going to Google what happened. Was he charged? Was he unalived? Because I'll be happy. So nobody has the displeasure of seeing that beard and his weird face. And man, stupid guy. Very stupid guy.
To pass him on his little catwalk, he just wouldn't make eye contact with you. It was weird. Like, how you walk and you're like, okay, we should make eye contact now so we can like wave and like do the whole neighbor thing. Yeah, no, he never made eye contact. And then sometimes you just wouldn't see the guy for weeks at a time. I mean, nobody knew if he's in the house, out of the house, never lived in the house. It's weird. So yeah, we don't know what he was up to. That's what the neighbors are saying. But we know what he was up to. He was arrested briefly in 2016 on embezzlement charges, but eventually those charges were dismissed. And the rest of his free time, a lot of his close friends said that he spent playing Dungeons and Dragons. And also, he would tell a bunch of Asian women that he met online how much he likes Asian women. Don't even get me started on this, okay? So a woman from Thailand, let's call her Cece. Cece said that she and Troy met online while they were playing a video game, and they just started hitting it off. He seems like a nice guy. He seems really genuine. It was just this cute online friendship and nothing more. They were texting every day, but that was it. And Troy was actually texting her the whole time that he was up in the mountains. So he had texted her prior to trying to assault and throw 2 women off of a cliff.
What?
She said, I never saw the red flags. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking. The day of, on that mountain, he was sending me pictures of himself on the mountain. He also told me about a random dream that he had last night. The text read, I had a dream that I was sleeping in the room and wanted to open the window to get a breeze. But it was too loud outside. And for most of it, I was watching my body, and I wasn't in my body, if that makes any sense.
No, it doesn't.
He texted her that while he was climbing up the mountain. And then he texted her, I climbed it. It went about 328 feet, only tree roots and branches for stepping and grabbing. Then he sent her another ominous picture. It was 2 people kneeling in a small area that seems really secluded that's overlooking the castle. And he texted, now I get to sit here and look at these 2 try and get the perfect Insta. So it's actually speculated that this is him scouting out locations that were secluded and easier to assault people in. He's filling Cece in on his very, quote, normal day, right to the point where he tries to murder 2 Asian women. And one of the last things that I thought about when I was researching Eva Liu was Cinderella. Because, this is all happening at the Cinderella castle, and I mean that with the utmost respect. It's not about fairy tales, it's not about love, but she really just didn't feel like she needed a Prince Charming. That's like what I just kept getting from her story. Eva was the type of person that she knew what she wanted at a young age and worked nonstop ever since she was a kid to get to that point. She only counted on herself. She had this twin sister named Alice, and the 2 of them would do everything together. They would run around terrorizing their parents. I'm kidding. But apparently they were these really cute, well-behaved kids. They're identical twins. They would wear the same clothes. They played the piano, and they had this party trick where one of them would play with their left hand and the other one would play with their right hand.
Bro, she was a twin. She was a twin. Do you understand that? You traumatized somebody for the rest of their lives. You just took your twin sister for nothing. For nothing at all. I mean, this is so senseless. You know how crimes are called senseless? Oh, that is a senseless crime. That crime makes no sense. Why would they do that? Bro, this is the most senseless crime of ever. I mean, it's one of it. But it's up there. You just essay one of them and throw both of them off a cliff. You wipe your hands and then you're off. And now one happened to be a twin. And who knows where the other's family is and what she... Bro, this is ridiculous. Somebody unalive this guy, please. Man.
And they just had opposite personalities. Alice said that she was super shy, and Eva was the one that always encouraged her to get out there, go talk to people, live a little. They grew up in Canada before moving to the US, and eventually, Eva would actually work her way into one of the most prestigious programs in the country. She studied computer science at the University of Illinois, which is ranked 5th in the nation for computer science programs. The first 4 being MIT, Stanford, Berkeley, and Carnegie Mellon.
Wow.
It's so impressive. The amount of things that Eva was able to balance during her life, she would study all day. During the weekends, she would volunteer at church. One time, her sister walked in on her in the dorm room. There were 2 girls in Eva's room. One on the desk, one on the bed. Eva is tutoring the one on the desk right before her exam, and the other friend was having a mental breakdown on the bed, and Eva was alternating between helping one friend solve a mathematical equation and then turning around and trying to console her friend that everything was going to be okay. She's doing all of this while maintaining her studies and excelling. So she graduates from the University of Illinois and she secures a full-time position at Microsoft as a software engineer, which is insane. Like, that's really impressive to have right out of college.
Yeah. This is the person that piece of rat's turd threw off a cliff. Like, just process that. Somebody who was this useful in society got unalived by the most useless piece of shit who didn't even say hi to neighbors. He did not care about anybody, didn't make eye contact with anybody. That rat's turd killed somebody this prominent in society. I hope that is considered at his sentencing or hearing or whatever it is. Like, that should be considered. A young lady who's done all this for herself, achieved the unachievable for herself, gets unalived by this pig, this idiot with a beard like that. A beard like that.
Was going to start this year, July 2023. And between May, which is when she graduates, she's got the month of June. She's got most of the month of June before she gets into her first corporate job. And she's thinking, okay, why don't I do something crazy? Because once I get into this job, it's going to be years of me trying to climb the corporate ladder or trying to find my passion. This is my chance to be free. So she talks to one of her best friends who also just graduated, Kelsey Chang, and they decide, let's do a Europe trip. I mean, okay, it sounds crazy, but it's not really crazy because they earned it. They worked their asses off to get through school and they secured their future spots. And now they're just going to spend 3 weeks seeing the world. I mean, when else are they going to do this? Which, side note, Eva and Kelsey were really safe travelers. Not that it would matter even if they weren't, because it doesn't matter. Like, that's just victim blaming. But just to preface, they really were. So they were the type to not stay out after dark. They would review and plan their itinerary really well. They were constantly aware of their surroundings and really only headed to populated, touristy spots. Again, nothing would have changed if they hadn't been doing that, but I'm just stating. So the first stop was Budapest, then Vienna, Prague, and now Germany was their last leg of the tour before they went home, which apparently Munich is one of the prettiest cities in all of Europe. They say that the architecture is breathtaking, the streets are beautiful, there's parks, scenery, lakes, forest, there's all these little cafes and shops around the city center. But more than that, it's internationally known as one of the safest cities for female tourists. So again, they're like, okay, this is kind of perfect because we're 2 girls traveling on our own. One of the last things that they wanted to do on this trip was visit the famous Cinderella Castle. June 13th, 2023, Eric Abernary from New York City. So this is a man from New York City. He was at the castle too. And he had never seen anything like this castle. Like, hear him out. The Brooklyn Bridge, beautiful. But this castle is something else. And the bridge that he's on, soaking in the sight of this beautiful castle, it was insane. And then all of a sudden, he sees this bright red helicopter just swarming, doing circles. He's like, that's weird. That's really weird. It's getting closer and closer and closer. What are they looking for? So he and other tourists, they start looking under the bridge, over the bridge. They're like, what is this helicopter doing here? And it's very loud. So people start rushing over. Suddenly the castle that they all wanted to take pictures of, meaningless. Now they want to know what's going on. Is it a mountain climber? Is it some sort of animal? Did someone fall? Eric starts scanning his eyes along the river at the foot of the mountain, and he sees 2 young women just on the ground. They look closer to teenagers than anything. One of them was moving but hanging onto a tree, so it looks like she was stuck in a tree or landed on a tree. The other one was laying motionless on the ground. So the crowd, they start dispersing. They start whispering in their own native languages since they're all tourists. And the red helicopter is loud, trying to circle the area nonstop. Rescuers are coming down on rope, being lowered into the dense tree-lined rocky cliff. It looked like they were sending down a claw machine, just trying to catch something, going up, failing, trying to go back down. It was weird. So the rescue mission for the 2 women, I mean, it was very difficult. The terrain is dangerous. It's impossible for normal police forces to go in and get them. So special alpine rescue missioners were used. And people were wondering, like, do you think the girls fell? Do you think they slipped? Didn't someone lure them over there? I felt like I saw someone go over there with them. When one of the girls was being lifted onto the helicopter, the rest of the tourists could see she was moving. Thank God, she was alive. Kelsey would call Eva's twin sister and say, "Alice, he threw us off the cliff." While Kelsey was being rescued on a stretcher, she called Eva's twin to tell her that the man pushed them both off the cliff and he had been trying to assault Eva. So that man was Troy Bowling. He was not that hard to catch. All exits out of the tourist spot were shut off immediately. 25 emergency vehicles were sent to the scene. I'm talking cars, helicopters, sniffer dogs, like everything. A lot of netizens speculate that Eva actually helped in catching their perpetrator. His face.
Yeah. First and foremost, I'm so happy that Ava made it. Man, I thought both of them were unalived, but I'm very happy she made it. I mean, and to help catch that piece of shit, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I do not understand why that piece of shit was walking like. I know he got arrested. I know he had cuffs, but I mean, somebody should have been behind him, slapping the heck out of his back, the back of his head.
Homicide. Kelsey had survived the fall, so she had fallen onto a tree. Now, even though she fell 165 feet, just like Eva had, because she fell on a tree at an angle, it softened the impact and helped her survive. She was responsive when the rescuers got to her. She was able to talk, able to communicate. This is kind of a crazy miracle. Falling nearly 165 feet, Kelsey only had minor injuries.
Wow.
A few bruises and scratches, as well as bleeding from like a shallow injury to her head. But other than that, Kelsey was okay.
That is miraculous, to be honest with you. I mean, falling that much, the height is crazy. 150 some feet is crazy. And to fall to a tree branch or a tree just catches you at an angle, because it was still possible for her to get hurt by the tree branch. So for her to fall at an angle is crazy. That is miraculous. Now, that piece of rat's turd, man, I'm also glad that Ava left marks on his face. It'll make everything corroborate. You'll find her DNA on him, his DNA under her nails and stuff like that. Oh, man, oh, man. And the fact that she's still alive doesn't like rid her of trauma. She's still going to be traumatized. I mean, 100%. But I hope she makes a full recovery physically. I hope her mental health is not like down. It's crazy.
Eva landed just a few feet away from her friend, so nearly in the same spot, but she landed flat on the ground.
Oh,
There was no tree there to break her fall, and that would literally be the difference between life or death. We're not sure the extent of Eva's exact injuries, but she was unresponsive when rescuers arrived, and she would pass away the night of at only 21 years old.
oh,
She stayed at the hospital morgue while her family flew in from across the world to be with her. They just wanted to bring her body back home. So the family, they flew to Germany, flew back to the US with Eva on Father's Day, June 18th, 2023. Eva's father said it was the most painful Father's Day of his entire life. And the worst part, the more painful part, is that German prisoners probably live better lives than the average free American citizen.
whoa.
Prisoners in Germany live in rooms. They look more like hotel rooms rather than prison cells. They sleep in proper beds, so not concrete bunk beds with mattress pads thrown on top. Guards at German prisons are advised to knock before going into prisoners' rooms. They have
Man, are you kidding me? Don't tell me this piece of rat's turd is going to enjoy a life that is better than what he had walking his stupid cat. Well, he's stupid. Walking his cat. He's going to enjoy a better life in prison. He's going to have to tell a guard to knock before entering. How is that a prison? How is that a prison? Prison is supposed to be a condition or like a place that will reform people. How is that going to reform anybody? Because you take them out of there, they will commit another crime to get back in there. If it is that luxurious, that is not reforming anybody. That is not going to reform anybody. This girl pushed to This guy pushed two ladies off a cliff and is going to sleep in a bed he's never slept in before. Man, I want to cut this video short. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Have privacy. They don't have just bars. If prisoners are hungry, they can walk to the communal kitchen and cook their own meals.
They have a communal
They get
kitchen.
paid.
They have a communal kitchen. They have a kitchen where all of them can come together and it's over, man. It's this guy escaped justice. He probably knew. I don't know, man.
Paid for
No.
work. They have opportunities to leave the prison and hang out with their family, learn skills, get an education. They can even decorate their little hotel room.
That's where he's at right now?
Yeah. It said German prison cells look more like maybe dorm rooms at liberal arts colleges. You get phones in your hotel cell so that you can call anyone at any time that you want. You can even call the media if that's what you want. You get forks and knives, like real forks and knives. I mean, it honestly doesn't even sound like a prison, and I do just want to disclaim something. I think the US prison system is not great at all. I mean, I've been pretty vocal about wanting to learn more about the system in general and how it targets the underprivileged, and clearly Germany is doing something all right, since they have lower crime rates than the US, they have less reoffending criminals. But for this case in particular, a lot of netizens were angered that an American tourist killed two American citizens abroad. He should face American prison.
Yeah. Why is he not here?
Because the crime took place in Germany and there is no plan to extradite him to the US. Now, a lot of netizens are just really pissed off about all of this. I mean, the idea that he tried to kill two successful, hardworking women that would have been incredible figures in their communities, workplaces, and even just in society, just because he felt like it was his right to, just because he felt like he could and that he was above them somehow and he could just discard them like that as if like they're objects. So after all of that, he's going to be decorating his little hotel cell with construction paper art and eating snacks on his foam mattress bed while chatting on the phone. That's crazy. I mean, the idea of that to a lot of netizens was insane. A lot of netizens demanded he be brought back to the US so he could be tried for murder and potentially face the death penalty here, since Germany won't do that for him. Most people that are sentenced to life in prison for murder in Germany, they get out in 15 to 20 years.
No way.
But as of right
Hey, no. You either bring him to America, face the justice system here in America, or you treat him differently from how you treat your prisoners. I mean, either or. I mean, and when I say differently, I mean in the worst way possible. Look at the American system and replicate that and throw that son of a you know what in there. Throw that son of a you know what in there. He's going to do that and then come out in like 15, 20 years. Because on average, people that are sentenced to life come out 15, 20 years. Man, that is extradite the heck out of him. Do something. Work something out with the U.S. Extradite his ass, man. I'm going to read this after this. I'm going to read about the case. See what happened. Bro, no. I don't like what I'm hearing. I hate what I'm hearing.
Right now, Troy Bowling is being held in Germany in prison on suspicion of murder, attempted murder, and attempted assault. Germany also has really intense privacy laws when it comes to court cases, so we can kind of assume that's why we just don't have as much information on this case. But the US, I will say, once they found out Troy Bowling's name, journalists swarmed his family home trying to get information from his family members. One German reporter stated that when they went to Troy's mom and asked for comment on the incident, she claimed, "My son wasn't even in Germany." She pretended confused as if the whole thing was just a silly little situation of mistaken identity, which of course added fuel to the fire. I mean, more people wanted to know, who is this lady? What was she thinking? What kind of son did she raise? Is she part of the problem?
So she knew it was him.
Okay, that's what was reported. It was actually not the truth. The statement that she actually gave to the German reporter was, "We have to find out what happened, so we won't comment." And somehow it got really twisted in these news reports, and now it's kind of like this belief that his mom was going around like, "What are you talking about? My son wasn't in Germany."
Let's see.
Now, a lot of discourse around this case has been around the fetishization of Asian women, since apparently Troy told Cece from Thailand that he was into Asian women. The 2 women that he attacked and one that he killed was Asian. So it made sense to a lot of netizens. I mean, the connection, right? But here's what I find fascinating about this case. Which, side note, apparently he also told Cece that he was too logical and too private of a person to make friends and build connections. Listen, anytime someone tries to convince you that they're too logical, like, run the other way.
Right.
He portrayed himself to be this workaholic with a strict disciplined schedule. I don't know. It's just weird. But this is
Yeah, he couldn't take care of his beard. Figure that one out. That's crazy. You too logical to whatever to make friends and stuff like that, bro. Fix your freaking beard, man. Fix your beard. And the fact that man, you are stupid. The scars on your face, I hope they remain, and I hope you're extradited. I mean, that is all extradite his stupid ass to the U.S. Charge him with double first-degree homicide. First degree. It was premeditated. Why he lured them to a secluded area. It was premeditated. Too logical. Too logical, my ass. Too logical. Stupid.
the fascinating part, right? Everyone said that he was never overly creepy. Everyone. People were tracking down old classmates, ex-girlfriends. Everyone said, he's not overly friendly, but he wasn't creepy by any means. An old classmate of his said, I remember he had very few friends and he just wasn't the type of person that you would go out of your way to have a conversation with because it just wouldn't go anywhere. He's a bit odd, very closed off, but never seemed like an angry kid, never showed any violent tendencies that I can recall. I mean, he was just quiet.
Yikes.
Another classmate said, nothing spectacular. And what's fascinating is not that people didn't realize that he had a hidden side of him or that they were blindsided or shocked. It's the fact that most of the people speaking out weren't Asian. Okay, hear this theory out. So his ex-girlfriend came out and said that he was totally normal. She said, I just can't think of a time where he was even mean. I can't even think of a time where he was rude or hurtful or disrespectful. Like, it's mind-boggling to me that happened because he was never violent. He was just this quiet, shy guy. Side note, none of these people are defending Troy. Nobody's arguing that what he did is horrendous. They're just giving stories of him since that's what journalists were digging for. So this has nothing to do with them, but it is fascinating because a big part of Asian women fetishization is that Asian women, to a lot of these guys, are not seen as humans. So these men are typically known to treat women of their race with a lot of respect. But they almost treat Asian women like dolls.
Yeah, I just don't imagine someone can flip a switch and just toss someone off the cliff.
Yeah.
What an action to take.
He didn't snap.
It's not even like just punching someone, right? Throwing someone off the cliff. That is crazy.
Yeah, so that's why.
Good point by Mr. Rodmango right there, man. So, that makes a lot of sense. Because you wouldn't just make friends or make small talk with somebody, try to essay them and just throw them off the cliff like that. You wouldn't do that. Unless you see them less as humans or like just a sex object, like Stephanie's saying, because that makes sense. I'm not saying what he did makes sense. I'm saying that explains it and makes sense of why he's a lunatic and did what he did. He didn't see them as humans. He saw them as pleasure dolls that he could pleasure himself with and then discard, which is disgusting and which is why he's not supposed to be enjoying and living the life he's living in Germany. It's sickening. It's sickening to me.
Don't you think it's a little fascinating the way that people are saying, no, he wasn't even violent? And I think it's, no, because you weren't the demographic in which he felt these urges. And that's why these fetishes, they're dangerous, they're scary. He just probably didn't see Asian women as humans. That's really a big part of the discourse around Asian women being fetishized. They're often seen as objects. Like there's this narrative ingrained in culture that Asian women are submissive, that they'll do whatever you want. They're soft. They don't mind doing domestic chores. They live to please. And there are some wild forums out there where men will talk about all these women, and I'm not saying that they're very respectful, but like the ones that have these fetishes, when it comes to talking about Asian women, I swear it's some of the most vile stuff that you will ever see. There was this one guy who posted on a forum. He's posting about his own daughter. Okay? This is a white man posting about his own daughter.
His daughter is Asian?
Half Japanese because his wife is Japanese, right? His own flesh and blood. And he wrote in the forum about how his daughter is a, quote, geisha doll, and he is contemplating assaulting her. His own daughter. Another forum had a man asking, like, full sincerity. He's like, no, genuinely, I just need help. Like, hand to my heart. I have a genuine question. Please take me seriously. Can I still be a white supremacist if I want to sleep with East Asian women?
Yeah, you can still be a retard, you stupid idiot, and die. Yeah. Yeah, I think the best thing for you to do is just leave Earth, and we will all celebrate your demise. You are a stupid human being. Well, no. You are a stupid animal. Well, that's insult to animals too. Well, you are stupid nothing. You're a rat's turd. Well, that's an insult to rat's turds, but you are shit. You're nothing, bro. I mean, wow. How I wish. Oh man. How I wish. Man, I can't. I can't say it.
What?
Yeah.
Huh. What a question.
Well, yeah, but he was like so genuine. Like, oh, guys, I'm really confused about this. In a separate forum, there was an article titled 12 Commandments Asian Women Must Follow When Dating White Masters.
What?
And it included, and it was not limited to, never sleeping with anyone other than the white master, especially never other Asian men or black men. Also, if the Asian woman ever gets sick, gains weight, or loses her youth, or stops being obedient, they can be sold off or sent back to China or wherever they came from. So I just think it's a little fascinating. In other cases, you know, people are saying things like, oh, I had no idea since he was so nice. And I'm like, yeah, well, you really never know when people do crazy things. You never know what they're thinking behind closed doors. With this one, a lot of the discourses, it doesn't seem like he was that good at hiding himself. Just all the people coming out saying that he was nice were not Asian women. So we genuinely don't know if he had been terrorizing Asian women his whole life.
Oh.
We don't
Terrifying.
know. And then another part of the discourse was, it's not even about Asian women, it's just the audacity. Like, a lot of women were so pissed because Eva worked so hard to get to where she was, and a man decided, hey, you know what? I'm just going to throw them off a cliff because I'm not getting what I want from their bodies. How do you get to a point where that even makes sense in your head? So I guess we're just going to have to wait and see how this plays out in Germany. During Eva's funeral, Alice, her twin sister, gave a really touching speech about how much Eva has been there for her. She had always been looking out for her and even provided financial support for her sister. Even they're the same age, they're twins. And she said, Alice, go focus on school. If you're stressed about money, I can work, I can send you money. I just want you to do well. Alice said, I've grown very accustomed to knowing that Eva will always be there for me. And at the risk of sounding like I'm in denial, I know she will always be there for me. A close friend of Eva's said, life is a bit darker right now. Eva had a bigger heart than just about anyone I've ever met. But I'm finding comfort in knowing that she's still here. She lives on in Alice and in her family and in her family members. And love doesn't go away because a person goes away. And that is the crazy story of the recent murder that took place at the real-life Cinderella Castle. What are your thoughts? I mean, this one I genuinely was at such a loss for words while I'm researching because, I mean, what can I say that hasn't already been said, right? What are your thoughts? Please leave it in the comments. and I will see you guys on Wednesday for the main episode. Bye.
Man, oh man. Man, oh man. Stop playing with me. I am so mad right now. That guy's a piece of rat's turd, man. And I don't know. I'm so mad. Man. I'll see you guys later, man. Appreciate you for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Help out our mods. Any way you can. Prayers, like, well wishes, everything to Irony Chill. I love you all so much. I'll see you later. Bye.
Tune in, hit play, let's take a ride around the world with Steven, we worldwide. Stories so wild, they keep you hooked. Subscribe and share, come take a look. Reacting to the stories, the crazy, the real. With every new video, we bring the thrill. From mysteries to drama, we cover it all. Join the fam, let's have a ball. From dark tales to